Welcome, guys. Money Mike's back here with another video. All right. Jump on. Okay. Welcome, everybody on the live. So, kicking this off, do a quick sound check, make sure everything's good. If you can hear me, just say yep. So, make sure everyone can hear me. Let's crack on. All right. So, welcome, everybody. Seems like there's a bit of a delay in the price view between my face and the sound, but I'm sure by the time we go through things, everything will smooth out and we should be more than happy and raring to go. All right. So I always start with Bitcoin. That's the tradition. And as you know why, if you haven't been following me, for those of you who are new, all right. At the moment, Bitcoin has approximately around about 45% of the entire crypto market share. And there's approximately 10,800 cryptocurrencies that are available. Or that exist at the moment, which means that since Bitcoin has a large share, if we see price action on Bitcoin, most likely most other altcoins will follow suit. So the first place to start as a technical trader, if you're new into crypto, you've never been to this channel before, okay, I always start with the foundational stuff. That's how we start, and we build from that foundation. So I would say one of the biggest keys at the moment, guys, look at Bitcoin. Okay, there may be a day where Bitcoin's market share may not, or market cap effect may not be as strong as it is now, but for the current phase of life that we're in 2021, it doesn't matter what Bitcoin does. So to kick off now, you've been watching me, some of you, for many weeks now. Some of you have never seen me before, but if I recap quickly as to where we are, just to get a perspective on the price action. So when we look at Bitcoin from the daily chart, all right, so we know the notorious drop that we had and the massive spike we had down in price right around about here, where Bitcoin got to 29,610, we'll call it 600. Now, if I put my demand zone right here, this demand zone is the most important demand zone to me for this entire year, because this is the point at which the price went from the 30 to 40 region up to this 50 to 60 region. At this point is where we had a really strong bullish run, and it happened in February. So in February, this daily demand zone was the crux of the area where we had price action to push the price to go long. Now, moving forward, we've seen that the price is broken below and gone short. Now, if you notice across here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 attempts for a body close above this area. Now, why is a body close so important? Now, if the body of a candle closes, above this area again, then we'll be back into the demand side of the market. At the moment, all we've had is wick closures. Instead, what the price has done is use the same area of demand as a supply zone, as an area of selling. So you notice all of the bodies of these candles have fallen within this zone very strongly and have stayed there. Now, the moment that day happens where we have a body close above this region, then we're back into a bull market straight away. But at the moment, we haven't been able to have that. And instead, we've had many pieces of price action across areas along here. So I'll mark these out. And across here, which have triggered short activity instead. Put another one right here. All right. So we've had action all over here, which has caused some short activity, which the price has been adhering to. Now, breaking this down even further, this demand zone is the most important area for now, for this month of June and into July. Reason being is because during this time, we had a fundamental and technical crossover on the price. Now, we had a demand zone also over here, which is also important. And I'm going to line this up for you guys. So this demand zone at the moment right here, we had the price pushing short, but we didn't have a return back into the demand area here at all. And then we've seen that the price has pushed very strongly long. Okay. And this spike right here, or this increase in price right here, was due to the announcement that El Salvador is adopting Bitcoin as a legal currency within their country. And so we had a very strong bullish piece of price action here, which sent the price back into the 40 zone right here. However, we didn't get the body close above this area, which means that the price was going to go and push short. So this demand zone became a very good area of, if you want to call it, a swing between supply and demand, or buying and selling. So when the price broke beneath here and returned, I knew immediately that we're going to have another short. Now, many people say, no, we're going long. And this day here was a very interesting day. We had a very strong spike back to this demand zone. So in other words, the orders that were in this order block, the algorithm of the market filled these orders by triggering them. So this spike down here triggered all of the orders. Some of the stop losses beneath here was run. And a lot of the orders that are in this order block were filled, and we saw the price push off long, but there wasn't enough bullish liquidity to take the price any higher. And so we see that this area here became a stable area of supply. And now we've had a short. So we can call this area a flip zone. Now we've seen that we had a return here. Now this was my signal. On the return, what I was expecting, because we didn't see a full fulfillment of liquidity here, I was expecting the price to pull back higher. But what we did have is the price got here, then pushed even further higher. And now we're having a gentle short back down from around about the 36 mark. And roughly right now we're at 33. Okay. Now I believe Bitcoin has still got a ways to go. Now, if you haven't followed me or you haven't looked at any of my videos, please take the time to do so. In my previous videos, I've gone through IC Markets, which is a reputable broker, the largest forex broker by volume, actually. I think is 1.04 trillion that it did in 1 month, which is absolutely mind-boggling in terms of volume of trades. And on their price feed, Bitcoin actually has 3 gaps. The lowest is right back down at $9,615, all the way back down here, which I'm not surprised if Bitcoin does. I believe that we're in right position for a short, and I'm looking to short Bitcoin and take advantage of this movement. But there has been a struggle. Now, the really big struggle at the moment, from a macro perspective, pulling it back right here, is if we get a close definitely beneath 29,000 or 28,000. At the moment, the price has stayed with the body of the candle as a close around about 31. We haven't had a body close anything less than 31,000. But the moment we do get a body close beneath this area, now from this area here, you can see that this area, if you're a support and resistance trader, this is a very strong area of support. I don't trade support and resistance as a disclaimer, but this is just what it looks like from a retail trader perspective. So we've had many spikes, the lowest back in December down to around about 28,000. Now on IC Markets, the first gap shows up at roughly around about 24,000, so roughly around about here. Second gap is slightly lower towards the 18, 19 mark. And then the final gap reads right down here at 9,615 approximately. So we have these gaps here. Now, I expect this short to happen soon. And we've had some interesting price action, which will lead me to believe we may actually be having our short. So what I really am waiting for is the moment that we get the body close, at least forget even 28. If we get a body close beneath this area here, just one body close of a daily candle, then I know that the price is ready to continue on this short rampage down. And once we do, we want to take advantage of, maybe you might not have the size of account to trade on Bitcoin, but you'll definitely want to be able to trade something as an alternative, which I'll go through in a moment, like Litecoin or XRP, which for those of you trading through MT4 or using Hugo's Way, or if you're trading through leverage or any other way, okay, you want to definitely take advantage of something on this short to take it, the movement down with profit. So right here, let's look back at what we've had. So on this H4 time frame, I was really hoping that the price will hold here. We have this very important H4 demand zone here, which the price accumulated within. So we had a very strong accumulation here. The price pushed long. And then we see the price has shorted beneath that. And then we've had the price break back above this area. And now what I'm really looking at as a crucial point of area here is right around here. This supply zone here has also been flipped into demand, and we've just had a return here now. So my question is the price going to pull back one more time? And if it does, potentially, then I'm looking for the price to possibly come back to the previous weekly high. So one more bullish run and return us rightfully back into this area for a short. Or are we just going to ride down for a short? At the moment, this does look like a very good perspective. We have ample area of demand here. We have a flip of this major H4 supply, which kept the price very strongly short, especially in this H4 session here. And so I'm expecting when the price gets back up to this region to potentially give us a very strong short here. And then from here, we can push for, a short downwards. Okay. So I'm watching this very carefully to see how we could, pull something off here. So I'm hoping to see price action for a short present itself, back around about 36. So I'm expecting an entry if the price goes long one more time, around about here. And therefore, right now, where the prices will be a great area to take a long from. Now, you can see here as Sunday night has opened, when the full market has opened. Now, Forex is not 24/7, but crypto is. So we see that on Friday, on Saturday here, Sunday, we have price action going on. But if you notice, Sunday at 10 o'clock GMT anyway, or wherever you are from the world, when the market open for normal trading begins, in line with Forex, you notice that we have a very strong reaction compared to the other days. Now, you can trade on a Saturday and make some money. I mean, if you traded yesterday and you bought this trade, or you took a buy here from the low of the day all the way up here, then you would make some good dough. But still, you really see the action and the true liquidity in the market show up when we have the Sunday open. For us, it's 10 p.m. GMT in the UK. Now, what I'd like to see from the price here is very simply just a good reversal for a long, but I'm keeping tabs on this area. At any moment, we could potentially get a H4 close back beneath this area, and we actually do have to wait 4 hours for this to happen. But at the moment, to me, I'm watching the price action here, and it's giving me the vibes of going for a long, okay? Now, we don't exactly have an entry here right now, but this price action here, if there is some promising movement here, I'll be wanting to take a long, and my long will be a short-term one. All I'll be looking for is just to ride this wave until the high of the week and close out at exactly 36,086. That will be my short entry, and I'll be looking to take the short from there. All right, so this entry right here for me, I think is a great way to start off the week for a long. It would be a very nicely profitable trade. And now seeing the macro structure here and the micro structure to a certain degree. Now, we're still not, I wouldn't say we're micro yet. We're on the H4. On the hourly, we're still looking at quite a wide space of price. But if I go down to the 30-minute or the 15-minute, I think the 30-minute has given us the key. I'm watching this price action here. And this price action here is giving me the key that I want to see to potentially go for the long. And I'm hoping that we would see some price action movement later on in the day. Now, a lot of the entries I've noticed for me anyway, coming from the UK, a lot of the entries seem to happen in the new day. There's a lot of activity around the new day and into the night times or into the Asian session for us, which is around about from anywhere from 10 p.m. GMT all the way into 5 in the morning. And then Japan closes a little bit later, but there's a lot of good price action movement that happens at night. Okay. Now, this is probably the first I've seen of price action like this in the morning into the afternoon, but I'm expecting to see some action here. This is what I need to see for me to know what I want to do. So I'll be watching this carefully. If you see a trade on any of the account, on this account or my challenge account, then you know that I traded Bitcoin for a long. But for now, I'm just watching the price carefully. Bitcoin has a lot of volatility and therefore a lot of spiking going on, simply because the algorithm knows that there's many retail traders. So spikes like these are very common. And these spikes like here, if you've over leveraged or, didn't put a stop loss, you could get yourself in some big trouble. So Bitcoin can move fast at times. So I won't be too hasty to get in. But if I see a very good entry, solid entry, then I'll be looking to take advantage of that. But for now, the price action does really look good. I like the way it looks. I like the way that what the price is presenting. And it looks like we have a good opportunity in our hands for a long. Now, seeing we have the price action here to a specific degree of accuracy for now, let's have a look at other cryptocurrency pairs and see how they follow. All right, so I'm looking at Dash. Now, Dash isn't my favorite, but a lot of these cryptocurrencies have the same D1 structure, daily structure, in the sense that we have the same kind of zones where the price is held into a specific area of supply or a demand zone that's been flipped. In this case, we have Dash coins right here. You can see this was from a bit more recent times than the Bitcoin one. This was in April. We had a very strong demand zone, which took Dash from, let's call it $231 all the way up to almost double, even more than double actually, up to $476.52. When we had the break beneath here, same point at the crash, we've had a return back to 237. The price has never been able to recover back above that. And we had a supply zone formed here, which has really been leading the short and driving the price downwards. At the moment, we could see that the candles have become a lot smaller, so the liquidity has become a lot less in terms of trading activity. All right, but Dashcoin has very similar features to all the other cryptos that we will look at in a moment in terms of the structure. We also have this demand zone here, which the price has actually closed beneath, and I expect it to stay beneath or probably push back inside and then short again. And then down to the H4, nothing spectacular at all. There's very simple A to B swing movements. So here's the A swing right here. Here's the B, and then we have C. The price seems like it's gently making its way down short. So nothing spectacular here, and nothing really I'd want to trade. Now, not every crypto, okay, looks complete. I mean, even though they're all going short, they have different ways they're short. Now, my major focus, the famous Dogecoin, is our main focus here. I'm going to put Dogecoin back up because it's all the way down here, and I'm not too sure why that even happened. Now, Dogecoin, if I'm going in alphabetical order for a moment, all right, is really the play that I'm looking for. And the reason for Doge, there are many reasons for it, but the main reason for Doge is because what triggered the price to go long is not a sustainable supporting factor to keep the price from dropping any lower. Okay, from a technical standpoint, if the price is pumped in from money that is unstably put in from hype, okay, at the same speed at which it was put in, it's the same speed it can be, or even more quickly, will be the speed that the price or the money is pulled out. Now, Dogecoin was hyped up from TikTok, from a very new set of investors. All right, and I told you that the economic factors of Dogecoin make it very, very repulsive to any institution who is looking for long-term gains compared to something like Ethereum. All right, now in the video part 1 of why do we need technical analysis, I'll go into more detail about this. But for me, Dogecoin, I'm really looking for a very strong short. I believe in this next short that Bitcoin is seeming to present. I believe Dogecoin is going to shock, not me, but will shock many, many people at how hard and fast it falls and how low the price gets to. This is why I do want to take Dogecoin for a short. Now, the macro structure on the D1 of Dogecoin is very similar to other currency pairs, cryptocurrency pairs, similar to Bitcoin, very, very similar to Bitcoin. And at the moment, we've had a very interesting, movement so far. We've had this daily movement here, first spike and second over here. And I'm just watching to see how the price plays out. Now, if you followed me last week, or at least last 2 weeks, I reference to this demand zone here, which this specific demand zone at the moment is a very strong area that was resisting the price from pushing any further below this 24-cent mark. Now, we've had that break beneath, and the price seems to be continuing to push short. And even into today, we can see the price right now is at 20 cents. And we actually did get a 19-cent Dogecoin for a few moments on the 9th on Friday before the price pushed back up here. Now, from this macro structure, you can see that on the left, if you look to the left of this movement, there's nothing really from the daily structure of things holding this price from falling all the way back down to at least this mark right here. So below 10 cents at 7 cents at least. All right. The only thing that's really holding the price is the current demand here, which was created in June. All right. If the price breaks below here, then Dogecoin is not coming back further for any more longs. It will be straight down for a short. Now, I believe that as a tactical trade, Dogecoin will be probably one of the best ones to take on the short side when I believe the next shorting happens. At the moment, if I drag this along here, let me put this here. At the moment, how the price is behaving, if Bitcoin does do that long that I was discussing, then there is potential for the price to come up for a long. And if it does, then my target would be another entry here. If there is a chance where somehow Dogecoin was to come back, I'm expecting the price to pull back to around about here to this supply zone area here. And the reasoning for that are several, which I've gone through in other videos. But if Doge was to do along, similar to what Bitcoin possibly could do, then I would look for a spike back to here and then a short, which would be a great chance for us to get back in. We have several areas that the price could use. I mean, on the H4, there are so many different areas that we can go for. All right, but we just have to follow the rules that the higher the time frame, the stronger the demand or supply order block. So I would expect a daily order block to be respected better than the H4 one. But again, the H4 one seems to be quite strong here. So I'm still in the phase of speculating. I definitely want to take Dogecoin for sure. I do want to get in at least, above 20 cents at least, or at 20 cents at the minimum. I don't really want a 19 entry, but if that's what I can get, then I'll take it. But I really did want to get a more of a 25, 26 entry, which the price is already seeming to have gone here. But I'm hoping that with the price action movements we do see, that we would be able to get something here. But Dogecoin is looking pretty similar to Bitcoin, but it does depend in these next couple of hours what the price does here. So I'll be watching that along with my Bitcoin analysis here to see what we get going. All right, let's have a look at Ethereum. All right, Ethereum, again, very fantastic project, by a long shot, has an amazing place in the crypto market, irreplaceable, okay, to a certain degree. And again, looking at Ethereum, again, price is looking very strongly short. Now, Ethereum is another one on my list, which according to IC $3. Now, I can't even fathom the price getting down to that moment of $283. But if it actually did, that would be an absolute steal. And this is why you haven't seen me talking about what cryptos I'm going to buy, because I'm not buying anything. The only thing I'm buying is buying and selling on CFDs type trades. That's all. I'd rather make the money from just taking the movements up and down than trying to invest right now. For me, this is not financial advice whatsoever, but for me personally, I have a different stance on how I'm trying to invest in the crypto space. And I'm going from a more trader technical entry point of view rather than completely fundamental. I still look at fundamentals, I do. But just from a different perspective. Reason is because I want to make sure I get the best price point. Now, if you want to follow me, please definitely watch that video. Okay, it'll be, if it's not out, it should be uploaded. Okay, it's called Why You Need Technical Analysis in 2021. Why you need to understand technical analysis in 2021 for crypto. All right. So Ethereum, all right, at the moment, price is still pushing short. We're still within this demand zone here. We had the price push back to 1700 here. And if I go to the D1 time frame here, we had similar, but I believe that Ethereum is quite different in its price section. We had a H4 version of what I've been discussing in terms of that break and flip kind of pattern. If we look right here with Ethereum, we didn't even have a demand zone where the price really flipped from to say it's going to go short. Even if I drag this area here, you can see it does not line up completely like we would want with on the D1, but it still works out. On the H4, you can see that this demand zone here, very strong long in May, took the price to almost to double what it was basically, or close to, maybe say about a 75% increase on the price. We had a break beneath here, and then we've had a return. We've had no body close above this area. All we've had is a nested H4 supply zone right here, which the price spiked into briefly a few times throughout that week to get the price into this area. But all we've seen right now is just very strong shorting. So as I was saying in my last video, if Bitcoin was to close above 2000, even right here, if it was, the body was to close just on the H4, I would say safely above $3,000, then we'd be back in the bullish market. Okay, for now, the price has held here quite well throughout May and even into some parts of June. We've had many returns back to this area, but there's not been enough liquidity to drive the price higher. And I have the sneaky feeling that institutions are not buying Ethereum right now, even though they're saying they are. Unless it's a frantic rush, I think they can also see what's going on in the market, and they're probably going to wait for a more convenient time to buy. For me, if the gaps do fill out, we have 3 gaps, well, actually 2 gaps. The other gap that we have on Ethereum, which is seen on IC markets quite clearly, is between $648 around to $753. Okay, now I've been researching on the gaps for months now, looking back over them, checking the price feed to make sure there wasn't any inconsistencies. And the gaps check out to be real gaps that are not based on the broker's price feed or delays in pricing, etc., but true gaps. So if this is the case, then I mean, I wouldn't be buying any Ethereum for a very long time. I would rather just trade this all the way down, make as much money from the drop, and use that profit to simply buy more Ethereum on the way back up again. This is my plot of how I'm taking the market. If you want to follow suit, you can. It's not financial advice in any shape or form. This is just for my own sharing. Okay. So now moving on to XRP. XRP does have deviations in price. It looks a lot different from other cryptocurrencies. And I do believe it's because of the high interest that the market has, or the crypto market has, especially from a retail perspective on with the price. Now, again, the price is still going short. I've always said it and I'll keep saying it. I do believe XRP will at least get to 33 cents. Reason is because when the Reddit army spiked the price to 75 right here, there was a liquidity gap left that was not filled, which is at 33 cents. And I do believe the price will fill that gap. Okay. I always like to keep gaps that are significant in my memory. And when I'm trading, I keep them in mind for when I'm looking for targets and things of that nature. Now, Ripple on the daily time frame doesn't really look much like the rest of the cryptos. It does have some deviations there. All right. And because there's a lot of speculation, a lot of conspiracies around Ripple's delays, a whole load of stuff, what Ripple is trying to accomplish and achieve, there's been a lot of issues arising. At the moment, there is still an SEC investigation taking place. But for now, I can say from looking at the technical standpoint, we are definitely below this area of demand. We've had very strong closes beneath this demand area in here. So we are still in a very strong area of supply. But again, including today, the last 3 days, including today, have been very, very tiny or very weak days. And I guess because it's the weekend as well, but we haven't had really that much activity on XRP as we would like to have seen. For now, I do think that Ripple is going to push short. We still having shorts in action going forward, and you can see the market structure is still on the bearish side of things. And I expect it to be set to continue. So with Ripple, all I could really say for now, I'm staying away from it personally. All right. We've had a lot of interesting price action in the days, that have gone by, but I prefer to just keep a healthy distance from Ripple for now. I have made really good money on the challenge account from Ripple, you guys have seen, but even then, I'm still being wise with how I trade Ripple because, Ripple does have, a lot of cryptos have their own kind of characteristics and their own or their own majority impact on people's psychology in the market. And XRP is one of those cryptos that people really chase after, really want to buy up because of I wouldn't say the hype, but the potential of it. Okay, so with Ripple, how I would trade it would be quite different than how I would trade other cryptocurrencies. But for now, I don't really see any great potential on the price action for now, so I will be leaving it alone. Although I know the price should get here, providing everything happens as it should. All right, so let's have a look at Monero. Monero, again, the price is flat, very similar to other cryptos. All I could say, starting from the D1 here, is that this spike right here is a very important spike in the price. And very simply, the stop losses that were above this price area here have been run. And this was about 5 days ago now. So now that the stop losses and the liquidity above these highs have been grabbed, I do expect Monero to give us a very strong short. Now, privacy tokens, XMR, I wouldn't call them tokens because they're actually layer one. So I would say privacy cryptocurrencies. Okay, so Zcash, Monero, different projects of that nature, I do expect them to have, different price section. Bitcoin is already heavily hated by banks and institutions. But then I would say even worse than that, privacy tokens are probably hated by the government even more because they were designed to completely defy the ability for the government to look into anybody's details and transactions, especially financial transactions. Now, there is a side that is worrying, which is the side of the fact that, governments won't be able to trace, true illegal criminal activities. So things that fund terrorism, which is dangerous. Okay. And, terrorists can create cells and transfer money under the radar. But then there is the other side where, the exploitation of privacy, is being guarded by these privacy tokens. Okay. So we are in a place here where XMR and Dash is I'll say XMR, Zcash, especially those two, they are in a dangerous position because, they're already being delisted from some exchanges. Okay. And there is a heavy attack on them. So whichever one has a heavy attack from the institutions would be another good play for a short. So when the market does short, which I do believe Bitcoin will sell off, when that happens and other cryptos follow, all of them are going to be falling at different rates of speed. So in my mind, I'm watching to see how XMR is. But from what I've seen here with the price action, I'll just say this. I think XMR is going to be a very great short. I'm going to keep this H4 supply zone area here. What I am hoping for is that the price may give us a return right here, which would be my trigger to say to go for a short, guys. And if you can grab a short, I would say look for an entry around about 224 and put your stop loss at the spike here at 231. And I'll be looking to ride Monero into the single digits. I do think that Monero has at least another $100 to drop personally for me. Many of the cryptos so far have dropped beneath their low of 2021. Monero hasn't. It's managed to survive that for the moment, but I don't know how long is going to last for. If I go to the weekly here, this area that was holding the price has completely been obliterated. So at the moment, the price is free to drop from where it is. I do think my first target for Monero would be at the low of this year, so about 122. And then even lower into single digits, which my real target is about $96 to $93, right around about here. Doesn't mean it's going to go to zero, but I do believe we're going to have that. So Monero is my second play, I would say, after Dogecoin in terms of altcoins for entry. So I'm watching for this very simple movement right here. Okay. But for this to happen, we need Bitcoin to also go long. And then from that long, we can also ride the wave long too. So this is Monero, guys. It's a very simple trade. I don't expect the price to, if the price does go any higher than this, then we'll look for higher up entries. But from where I'm standing right now, I think we have a great position on our hands right here. All right. So keeping it short and sweet, guys, Dogecoin is my first XMR. And then, of course, I'll bring up BTC, and it really does depend on what happens there. Let me bring up Bitcoin again. I have so many charts open, guys. I definitely have to close it. Some of them. So, all right. So let's see what happens with Bitcoin as well and how the price behaves. Okay. So I hope you guys enjoyed that live. Okay. Let me know about the quality. We're working to make it better. I hope you enjoyed this session, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow, 12:30, same time. Take care.